My, what beautiful blossoms we have. But look, this one's late. I'll bet that when it blooms, it will be the most beautiful of all. Oh yes, you guessed it. We are talking about Fa Zhou and all of his fatherly advice. Father to whom? Why, none other than Miss Mulan herself. What was her mom's name? For the life of me, I cannot remember what her mom's name is. If you remember, drop it in the comments, yeah? Now let's get into Fa Zhou and all of his fatherly advice.
Listen in with Lindsay.
Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of Listen In with Lindsay. I'm your host, Lindsay, an award-winning singer and voice actress who loves talking all things music, cartoons, TV, anime with you. If you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment to keep up to date with all of the fun. Now, there are moments in childhood that don't feel important when they happen. They really don't. There's no dramatic music, no raised voices, no declaration of destiny. Just a sentence, spoken gently, almost in passing, but years later, you realize that moment rearranged the foundation of who you became. This is one of those moments. A father and a daughter, a failed day, a cherry blossom tree, picture it, and a line of dialogue that quietly tells a young girl, you are not broken, you are not behind, you are not wrong for unfolding slowly. Now let that sink in while we hear a quick word from our sponsors. This episode is sponsored by me, my creativity, vision, and drive to create wonderful, glorious kids content for the next generation. My current project is a preschool sing-along starring a giraffe named Gigi who sings and plays with all her colorful preschool pals. We have 13 fun kid songs available to download and stream. Guys, we even have fun vinyls and CDs. If you have a little one that needs some color and music in their life, then head on over to elrodco.com/GigiBrand. That's elrodco.com/GigiBrand. Enjoy! Now, when Mulan returns from the matchmaker, she isn't just embarrassed, okay? She is disoriented. Everything she was told would make her valuable, grace, silence, obedience, timing has slipped through her fingers. She didn't fail because she didn't try. She failed because the role never really fit, which is completely, totally terrifying. Because if you fail at the thing you were told defines your worth, well, what's left? Does that mean you are worthless? This is the emotional crossroads where Fa Zhou, Mulan's father, steps in. Not with, dare I say, solutions, but with some solid classic reframing. Fa Zhou does not rush to soothe. No. He does not minimize her pain. No. He does not say, it doesn't matter, because it does. He lets the disappointment exist. It's there. Smart move, if I do say so myself. Because real resilience isn't built by pretending failure doesn't hurt. It's built by being allowed to hurt without being shamed for it. Only after that does he speak. And when he does, he chooses a metaphor instead of, shall we say, advice. He points to the cherry blossom tree. Beautiful. He names what everyone can see. Some blossoms are early. Some are admired. Some are already open. Then he points to the one no one is praising, the late one. And here's the genius of what he says, right? He does not call it better yet. He does not call it special yet. He says this, I'll bet. Faith, not certainty. Possibility, not pressure. This teaches Mulan something incredibly subtle. You don't have to prove your worth immediately to deserve belief. Because of this moment, Mulan grows up and faces some serious challenges ahead. Well, within the span of really quickly, but with an inner voice that sounds different from the world's. When she struggles later, she doesn't think, I'm failing. Well, maybe, but not for the most part. She thinks, I'm not finished. When she falls behind in training, she doesn't quit, she adapts. When she's underestimated, she waits. This is not passivity. This is patience with direction. The late blossom lesson makes Mulan observant, strategic, internally resilient. Resilience isn't just about enduring hardship, right? It's about believing that growth is still happening even when it's invisible. Fa Zhou gives Mulan that belief early. So when she is mocked in the army, when she fails publicly, when she considers giving up, she doesn't see those moments as proof she doesn't belong, right? She sees them as part of the process. That's why she survives in the end. Not because she's fearless, but because she trusts becoming who she needs to be. This lesson prepares Mulan for the most important decision of her life. When she chooses to take her father's place, she doesn't act from panic. She acts from readiness. She has been waiting her whole life for the moment she blooms, in essence. Not according to tradition, not according to expectation, but according to truth, her truth. Because she's true to her heart. And when that moment comes, she does not hesitate. This inner thought lands so deeply because it speaks to a universal fear. What if I'm behind everyone else? Fa Zhou makes you think, well, then you are simply behind on your own schedule. And that schedule is not a flaw, okay? It's a promise. The late blossom does not rush. It does not apologize. It doesn't need to. It does not compete. It blooms fully when it is ready. Fa Zhou's quiet wisdom. It's beautiful, right? There's another part. Knowing your place. You shouldn't have to go. Mulan, there are plenty of young men to fight for China. It is an honor to protect my country and my family. So you'll pass on for honor. I will pass on doing what's right. But I know my place. It is time you learned yours. Ooh, that was a little intense. And scene. Okay. Sorry, I broke scene before. But, guys, please. It was but a humble fandom, okay? Sorry. Stop, please. You're embarrassing me. Oh. There are sentences that comfort us, and there are sentences that unsettle us, not because they are cruel, but because they refuse to rescue us. This is one of those sentences. I know my place. It is time you learned yours. No reassurance, no soft metaphor, no immediate warmth. No, it is cold. Just a boundary. Boy, oh boy, do we love our boundaries these days. And in many tellings of this story, this line is misunderstood as authoritarian. But that reading misses something essential, emotionally essential. Fa Zhou is not claiming control. He is releasing it. Acceptance. Fa Zhou speaks this line knowing three things at once. The world is dangerous. The rules are unfair. His daughter is not meant to live quietly inside them, and yet he also knows that he cannot choose for her forever. This is not a command to obey. It is a statement of limits. I know my place is not resignation. It is acceptance of responsibility. What does, place actually mean, In, philosophical terms, place is not a location. It is, a role. Fa Zhou understands his role as a father in a way many parents never ever do. His place is to prepare, not to possess, to guide, not to decide, right? To love, not to live through his child. When he tells Mulan to learn her place, he is not saying, know your limits. No, he would never. He is saying, know your authorship, your autonomy. Oh God, so important. This line feels heavy because it removes safety nets. Yes, it does. Fa Zhou does not say, stay, obey, don't risk yourself. He says, learn where you stand in the world because soon I will not be able to stand there for you. This is the philosophy of moral adulthood, the moment when guidance gives way to self-governance, right? It's so important. But how does this shape Mulan's personality? This line teaches Mulan something profoundly difficult. No one and nothing, not even love, can absolve you from choosing your life. Mulan becomes someone who acts from internal conviction. She accepts consequences without resentment, does not wait to be told she's allowed. This is why later she does not ask permission, not from her father, not from her commanders, not from tradition, right? She decides on her own terms, and she bears the weight of that, right? Because weight does come with it, comes with that decision fully. Resilience isn't just endurance, it's ownership without bitterness. Fa Zhou's line teaches Mulan that if she chooses her path, she must also choose its costs. This is why she doesn't blame anyone later. Not the army, not her father, not society. She understands that freedom and responsibility are inseparable. Unfortunately, responsibilities. Let's look at the pain of a parent who lets go. Here's the quiet tragedy of this moment. Fa Zhou knows that if Mulan learns her place, she may leave his protection forever, but he does not retract the lesson, because love to him is not control. It is freedom. It is trust under uncertainty. This line directly informs Mulan's most consequential choice. Are you ready for it? When she takes her father's place in the army, she does not do it for him. She does it for herself. She understands, this is my place, this is my risk, this is my responsibility. And because of that, she endures, right? Maybe I didn't go for my father. Maybe what I truly wanted was to prove I could do something right. So when I looked in the mirror, I'd see someone worthwhile. But I was wrong. I see nothing. Oh, so melodramatic. Guys, seriously, like Oscar nomination? What? All right. Fa Zhou's wisdom speaks to anyone standing at the edge of adulthood, reinvention, or rupture. It asks a difficult question. If no one else defines your role, who do you become? Fa Zhou does not answer this for Mulan. He respects her enough to let her answer it for herself. I know my place is not distance. It is humility. It is time you learned yours is not rejection. It is faith. So good. Now, let's get on to the next part of Fa Zhou's quiet wisdom, the shape of love. How does everything connect? This one's wait. When it blooms, it will be the most beautiful of all. I know my place. It is time you learned yours. The greatest gift and honor is having you for a daughter. Individually, these lines sound like moments. Together, they form a complete moral education. Fa Zhou is not improvising his parenting. He's intentional. He is guiding Mulan through 3 essential stages of becoming who she is, who she needs to be. Permission to unfold, responsibility to choose, unconditional belonging. This is not accidental. This is love with structure. The first lesson answers a question every child carries. Am I broken if I don't fit? Fa Zhou responds not with correction, but with time. You are allowed to be unfinished. You are allowed to be different. You are allowed to be who you are at the end of the day and take longer to become that. This is where Mulan learns self-trust. Without this lesson, everything else collapses, ruined, because no one can choose themselves if they believe they are fundamentally wrong. Am I right? The second lesson answers a harder question. If I am allowed to be myself, who am I responsible for becoming? Who am I going to be? Fa Zhou does something radical here. He steps back. He teaches Mulan this very important lesson, that freedom without ownership is illusion. This is where Mulan learns self-authorship, autonomy. She understands that no one, not tradition, not family, not love, can live her life for her. This is the spine of her courage. Here's the crucial insight. Most stories stop at agency. They say, you can choose. You are responsible, blah, 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 stand on your own. Okay, but without the third lesson, this becomes crushing because agency without belonging turns into isolation. Fa Zhou does not make that mistake. Oh, no, he is wise. The greatest gift and honor is having you for a daughter. I know, right? This line is not pride, it is absolution. It answers the final, most frightening question. If I become myself, will I still be loved? Fa Zhou waits to say this until after Mulan has chosen, after the war, after the risk, after the consequences. This timing matters a whole lot, let me tell you, because it tells Mulan this very thing. You were never loved for obedience. You were never loved for success. You were never loved conditionally. You were loved for being you, being true to your heart. Someone you know is on your side can set you free. I could do that for you if you believe in me. Somebody help me. Together, the lessons form a complete arc. You are allowed to become the late blossom. You must choose who you become. Know your place. You belong regardless of who you become. The greatest gift and honor. This is the rarest form of parental wisdom. It produces not compliance, but integrity. This is why Mulan survives what she survives, why she doesn't harden, why she doesn't become cruel, why she doesn't lose herself in all of the chaos. She carries all three lessons at once. Patience with herself, responsibility for her actions, certainty of love. This is resilience that doesn't require armor. Okay? Most of us receive these as fragmented lessons. Some of us get permission, but no guidance. Some get responsibility, but no grace. Some get love, but only conditionally. So sad. Fa Zhou offers the rare full circle, right? And that is why his wisdom endures. Fa Zhou does not raise a warrior. He raises a person who knows when to wait, right? When to act, okay? And when love does not need to be earned, okay? That is the quiet miracle of this parenting. Okay, in the end, Fa Zhou gives Mulan three gifts. Count them, 1, 2, 3. Time, choice, belonging. Beautiful, right? And with those three things, she becomes unstoppable. Not because she is exceptional, right? She's quite ordinary, but because she is whole. If you're still here, it means something in the story stayed with you. It means something resonated. Maybe it was the cherry blossom tree. Maybe it was the silence between Fa Zhou's words. Maybe it was the idea that love doesn't always announce itself loudly. It's usually fairly often quiet. So let's rest here for a moment. No lessons to learn, no analysis to hold on to, just the feeling. Fa Zhou never rushes Mulan, not when she's confused, not when she's afraid, not even when the world is demanding answers from her. He understands something quietly profound actually, that becoming who you are takes time. And that time is not something you fix nor rush. It is something you're allowed to have. If you're listening to this while tired, emotionally tired, spiritually tired, life tired, let this be a reminder to you. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not failing because your life doesn't look like someone else's or what you always pictured it to be. Some things unfold slowly because they are meant to last. Fa Zhou teaches us that love can be steady without being loud, right? That guidance doesn't have to control. That belief doesn't have to pressure. That affirmation doesn't have to be earned, okay? Sometimes love simply says, I see you, I trust you, you belong. And then it waits. If you're standing in a moment of uncertainty right now, not knowing what comes next, not sure which version of yourself is the right one, it's okay not to know. All right? Fa Zhou never asked Mulan to have everything figured out. We're people after all. We're not perfect. He only asked her to listen inwardly, to act when she's ready, and to trust that love will still be there when she returns. Okay, and maybe that's why this story lingers, because it doesn't promise clarity. It promises companionship through uncertainty. Okay? That's all we can ask for. It tells us that even when we step into the unknown, even when we choose ourselves, we are not severing love. We are carrying it with us. So wherever you are right now, lying awake, resting, half listening as sleep creeps in, right? Let this be the thought you hold. You are allowed to take your time. You are allowed to choose your path, and you are allowed to be loved without conditions. And if you find yourself starting this video again, looping back to the beginning, that's okay too. In fact, I welcome it. Becoming your true self isn't linear. Okay? Sometimes we revisit the same lessons over and over again, not because we forgot them, but because we're ready to hear them more gently. Okay. Still blooming, still choosing, still belonging. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this Fa Zhou fatherly wisdom helped someone out there, and we will talk soon. Bye-bye.
Listen in with Lindsay.